The year was 2375. Humanity had reached the stars. For decades, Earth had been a member of the Galactic Council, an alliance of advanced civilizations from across multiple galaxies. The Council promised peace, trade, and shared knowledge. But, beneath its shiny surface, tensions simmered. Many alien species were uneasy about humanity's rise. They saw humans as unpredictable, aggressive, and too ambitious. Daniel Carter stood in a large, dimly lit chamber on the planet Zenith Prime. This was the heart of the Galactic Council. Around him, representatives of countless alien races sat in silence. Their glowing eyes, shimmering scales, and strange appendages made Daniel feel like an outsider. He was human, plain and simple. His brown hair was neatly combed, and his suit was clean but unremarkable compared to the elaborate robes worn by others. Beside him stood Rachel Dawson, her sharp mind hidden behind a calm expression. She was a scientist, one of Earth's brightest minds. Her research had helped humanity leap forward in technology, yet it also drew suspicion from other species. The air was thick with tension. Today, the Council would decide Earth's fate. Accusations against humanity had been building for years. Some claimed humans were expanding their territory too quickly. Others whispered that Earth's experiments with quantum energy could destabilize entire star systems. The final straw came when a mining colony near Earth accidentally damaged a sacred asteroid belonging to the Varnock species. Though it was an accident, the incident sparked outrage. Calls for punishment echoed throughout the galaxy. Daniel took a deep breath. He stepped forward, addressing the assembly. His voice was steady, though his hands trembled slightly. "We are not your enemy," he began. "Earth seeks only to coexist peacefully. Our advancements are meant to benefit all, not harm anyone." He glanced at Rachel, who nodded encouragingly. Together they presented evidence showing how humanity had contributed to the Council's projects, medical breakthroughs, sustainable energy solutions, and more. But their words seemed to fall on deaf ears. A tall, insect-like creature named Zorath spoke next. His voice buzzed like static. "Your actions speak louder than your promises," he said. "You expand recklessly. You test dangerous technologies without considering consequences. Your presence threatens the balance we have worked centuries to maintain." Rachel stepped forward, her tone firm but respectful. "Every civilization makes mistakes. We are learning, just as you once did. Banishing us will solve nothing. It will only deepen mistrust and create more division." But Zorath wasn't listening. Neither were many others. One by one, representatives cast their votes. Each vote against humanity felt like a hammer striking Daniel's chest. By the end, the decision was unanimous. Humanity was exiled. All ties with the Galactic Council were severed. Earth's ships were ordered to leave Council-controlled space immediately. Trade routes were closed. Communication channels were blocked. Humanity was alone. Back on Earth, news of the banishment spread quickly. Cities fell silent as people gathered around screens to watch broadcasts of the verdict. Fear and anger rippled through the population. Factories that relied on alien materials shut down overnight. Colonies on distant moons scrambled to survive without support. Governments held emergency meetings trying to figure out what to do next. Panic set in among ordinary citizens. Families wondered if they'd ever see loved ones stationed on faraway planets again. In New York City, Emily Taylor sat in her small apartment, staring at the skyline. She was an engineer, known for her creative problem-solving skills. Her latest project involved designing modular spacecraft capable of adapting to different environments. Now she wondered if her work even mattered anymore. Without access to alien metals and alloys, building such ships would be nearly impossible. Still, she refused to give up. "If no one helps us," she muttered to herself, "we'll find a way to help ourselves." Across town, Alex Brooks paced inside his office at the United Earth Defense Headquarters. As a commander, he had spent years working alongside alien forces to protect Council interests. Now he faced a new challenge: defending Earth against potential retaliation. Alien fleets might attack at any moment. Alex knew Earth's military was strong, but it couldn't match the combined might of the Council. He clenched his fists, determined to prepare for whatever came next. Despite the chaos, some voices refused to stay silent. Daniel returned to Earth and called for unity. He traveled across continents, speaking to crowds in packed stadiums and quiet town halls. "They think they can break us," he declared during one speech. "But history shows that humanity thrives under pressure. When pushed into darkness, we light our own path." His words resonated with many. People began organizing community groups to share resources and ideas. Scientists pooled their knowledge to develop alternatives to alien technology. Farmers experimented with vertical farming techniques to ensure food supplies. Artists painted murals depicting hope and resilience. Slowly, a sense of purpose emerged from despair. Rachel played a crucial role in this transformation. She led teams of researchers working tirelessly to adapt existing technologies for Earth's needs. Quantum propulsion systems, once dependent on rare alien crystals, were redesigned using materials found on Earth. Renewable energy sources became a top priority. Solar panels covered rooftops, wind turbines dotted landscapes, and geothermal plants sprouted near volcanic regions. Meanwhile, Emily focused on her modular spacecraft designs. With limited resources, she simplified her prototypes, stripping away unnecessary features while retaining core functionality. Her work caught the attention of Alex, who invited her to collaborate with the defense team. Together, they envisioned a fleet of agile, versatile ships capable of exploring unknown territories. These ships wouldn't rely on alien parts, they'd be entirely human-made. As months turned into years, Earth changed. Cities evolved into self-sustaining ecosystems. Skyscrapers incorporated green spaces, recycling waste into usable materials. Transportation networks ran on clean energy, reducing pollution to almost zero. Education systems emphasized innovation, teaching children to think critically and solve problems creatively. Even entertainment shifted, with movies and books celebrating themes of perseverance and ingenuity. Yet challenges remained. Food shortages hit certain regions hard. Diseases spread faster due to overcrowded living conditions. Conflicts broke out between nations competing for dwindling resources. But each crisis brought lessons. Leaders learned to cooperate rather than compete. Communities banded together, sharing what little they had. Out of hardship, humanity grew stronger. One evening, Daniel met Rachel at a park overlooking the ocean. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. They sat on a bench watching waves crash against the shore. "Do you think we'll ever return to the stars?" Rachel asked softly. Daniel smiled faintly. "Not just return," he replied. "When we go back, we won't beg for acceptance, we'll show them what we're truly capable of." Rachel nodded, determination flickering in her eyes. "Then let's make sure we're ready." Unbeknownst to them, their journey was only beginning. Exile had forced humanity to look inward, rediscovering strengths long forgotten. What lay ahead would test those strengths and forge a legacy that would echo through the cosmos. Years passed after Earth's exile from the Galactic Council. The planet transformed in ways no one could have predicted. Humanity, once reliant on alien technology and resources, turned inward. It was a time of hardship, but also of reinvention. People learned to adapt, innovate, and survive. Slowly, Earth began to rise again. Emily Taylor stood in her workshop surrounded by half-built machines and scattered blueprints. Her workspace was cluttered, yet she moved with purpose. She had spent years refining her designs for modular spacecraft. These ships were meant to be flexible, able to change shape and function depending on the mission. At first, progress was slow. Without access to alien materials, Emily struggled to find alternatives, but necessity drove her forward. She experimented with alloys made from Earth's resources, combining them in new ways to create lightweight, yet durable frames. Her breakthrough came when Rachel Dawson joined her team. Rachel brought expertise in quantum mechanics, which helped solve one of the biggest challenges: propulsion. Together, they developed engines that could travel faster than light without relying on rare alien crystals. Instead, the engines used energy harvested from Earth's sun. This innovation marked a turning point. For the first time since exile, humanity had a way to explore deep space again. Commander Alex Brooks watched these developments closely. As head of United Earth Defense, he knew Earth needed more than just advanced ships. It needed a fleet capable of defending itself. Alex envisioned a military force unlike any other, a force built not on aggression, but on strategy and precision. He recruited pilots, engineers, and tacticians from across the globe, assembling a diverse team united by a common goal: protecting Earth. Training facilities sprang up in remote locations. Pilots practiced maneuvers in simulated environments, learning to handle ships designed for speed and agility. Engineers worked tirelessly to refine weapon systems, ensuring they could disable enemy vessels without causing unnecessary destruction. Tacticians studied past battles, analyzing what went wrong and how to improve. Every member of the team understood the stakes. If Earth returned to the stars, it would face hostility. They had to be ready. Daniel Carter, now a leader in Earth's newly formed United Earth Federation, UEF, played a key role in uniting the planet. After the exile, nations had initially turned against each other, blaming one another for Earth's downfall. Famine and disease spread as resources dwindled. Riots erupted in cities and governments teetered on the brink of collapse. Daniel traveled tirelessly, speaking to leaders and ordinary citizens alike. His message was simple: we are stronger together. At first, many doubted him. Old rivalries ran deep, and trust was hard to rebuild. But Daniel persisted. He organized summits where representatives from different countries could meet and share ideas. He brokered agreements to pool resources and distribute food and medicine fairly. Slowly, cooperation replaced conflict. Borders became less important as people realized their shared fate. The UEF emerged from this effort. It wasn't just a government. It was a symbol of unity. Under its banner, humanity worked toward a common vision, reclaiming its place among the stars. Daniel served as its spokesperson, addressing crowds and rallying support. His speeches inspired hope, reminding people of what they had achieved despite overwhelming odds. Rachel and Emily continued their work, pushing the boundaries of human ingenuity. Their collaboration led to another breakthrough: shield technology. Using principles of quantum entanglement, they created protective barriers capable of deflecting even the most powerful weapons. These shields weren't perfect, they required immense amounts of energy, but they gave Earth ships a fighting chance. As news of these advancements spread, excitement grew. People began to believe that returning to space wasn't just a dream, it was possible. Yet doubts lingered. Some feared retaliation from the Galactic Council. Others worried about encountering hostile alien species beyond Council-controlled space. Despite these concerns, momentum built. Humanity wanted to prove itself not just to others but to itself. In 2395, 2 decades after exile, the UEF announced Project Phoenix. Its goal was clear: build a fleet strong enough to venture back into the galaxy. The project brought together the best minds and resources Earth had to offer. Shipyards operated around the clock, assembling sleek, state-of-the-art vessels. Each ship bore the mark of human creativity and determination. Alex oversaw the final stages of preparation. He inspected every detail, ensuring nothing was overlooked. The flagship of the fleet, named Eclipse, was his pride and joy. Sleek and black, it looked like a shadow gliding through space. Inside, it housed cutting-edge technology, from navigation systems to combat capabilities. Alex handpicked its crew, choosing individuals who embodied resilience and skill. Among them was Emily, whose engineering expertise made her indispensable. She insisted on joining the mission, eager to see her designs tested in real conditions. Rachel also joined, serving as chief science advisor. Her knowledge of alien cultures and technologies would prove invaluable. Together, they formed a team ready to face whatever lay ahead. Before departure, Daniel addressed the crew and the world. Standing before a massive crowd gathered at the launch site, he spoke with conviction. "Today marks a new chapter for humanity," he said. "We were cast out, told we didn't belong, but we refused to give up. We rebuilt, reimagined, and rose stronger than ever. Now we return, not as beggars or enemies, but as equals." His words resonated deeply. Cheers erupted as the fleet prepared for launch. Engines roared to life, lighting up the night sky. One by one, the ships ascended, leaving Earth's atmosphere behind. For the first time in decades, humanity ventured into the unknown. The journey wasn't easy. Space was vast and unforgiving. Crews faced technical glitches, navigational errors, and moments of doubt. But they persevered, driven by a shared sense of purpose. Along the way, they discovered wonders, uncharted star systems, strange cosmic phenomena, and remnants of ancient civilizations. Each discovery fueled their resolve. As they approached the edge of Galactic Council territory, tension mounted. What awaited them? Would the Council welcome them back, or would they face hostility? Alex called a meeting aboard the Eclipse. "We don't know what's coming," he told the crew, "but we're ready. Remember why we're here, to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." Rachel nodded, her expression thoughtful. "And if they attack?" someone asked. "Then we defend ourselves," Alex replied firmly. "But we do so wisely. We won't repeat the mistakes of the past." The fleet pressed on, entering Council-controlled space. Sensors picked up signs of activity, alien ships patrolling nearby sectors. Emily monitored readings closely, adjusting shields and engines as needed. Rachel analyzed transmissions, searching for clues about the Council's intentions. Finally, contact was made. A massive alien vessel approached, its hull gleaming under distant starlight. Onboard screens flickered to life, revealing the face of Zorath, the insect-like counselor who had condemned Earth years ago. His voice buzzed with irritation. "You dare return?" Daniel stepped forward, calm but resolute. "We aren't asking permission," he said. "We're here to reclaim our place. Banishing us changed nothing. If anything, it made us stronger." Zorath hesitated, clearly caught off guard. Behind him, other counselors whispered among themselves. Humanity's boldness unsettled them. They had expected weakness, not defiance. For now, the standoff held. The fleet remained poised, ready for action. Whatever happened next, humanity was prepared. Exile had taught them resilience. It had forced them to innovate, unite, and dream bigger than ever before. And as they stared down the Council, one truth became undeniable. The Outlawed had become unstoppable. What lay ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity's story was far from over. The standoff between humanity's fleet and the Galactic Council stretched into tense silence. Both sides hovered in the void of space, weapons powered, but not yet fired. Zorath, the insect-like counselor, stared at Daniel Carter through the viewscreen, his glowing eyes narrowing with suspicion. "You have no right to be here," he buzzed, his voice sharp and cold. Daniel stood firm, his expression calm but unwavering. Behind him, Rachel Dawson monitored data streams, her fingers flying over a holographic console. Emily Taylor adjusted the ship's systems, ensuring the Eclipse was ready for anything. Commander Alex Brooks stood near the helm, his hand resting on the edge of a control panel, prepared to issue orders at a moment's notice. "We're not asking for permission," Daniel repeated, his tone steady. "We were cast out unfairly. Now we've come back stronger than you ever imagined." Zorath's mandibles twitched in irritation. He glanced at the other counselors visible behind him, their faces a mix of shock and unease. Humanity's boldness unsettled them. They had assumed exile would cripple Earth, leaving it weak and forgotten. Instead, they faced a force brimming with confidence and advanced technology. Before Zorath could respond, alarms blared aboard the Eclipse. Sensors detected movement, dozens of alien ships emerging from nearby sectors surrounding the human fleet. The council wasn't alone. It had called allies to confront this unexpected challenge. Tension crackled through the air as the crew processed the situation. Alex stepped forward, taking charge. "Shields up," he ordered. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers." His voice carried authority, steadying the nerves of those around him. Emily nodded, her hands moving swiftly to activate the quantum shields Rachel and she had developed. A shimmering barrier enveloped the eclipse, deflecting stray energy pulses from probing enemy vessels. Rachel spoke up, her voice clear despite the mounting pressure. "They're scanning us," she said, "looking for weaknesses." "Let them look," Alex replied, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "They won't find any." The alien fleet moved closer, forming a tight blockade. Their ships were larger and more menacing than anything the humans had encountered before. Weapons glowed ominously, ready to unleash destruction. Yet, the Eclipse and its companions held their ground, engines humming with restrained power. Daniel turned back to Zorath. "This doesn't have to end in violence," he said. "We're not here to fight. We're here to prove that humanity belongs among the stars." Zorath sneered. "Your presence disrupts the balance. You always push too far, too fast. The galaxy cannot afford your recklessness." "That's where you're wrong," Daniel countered. "We've learned. Exile taught us humility. It forced us to grow smarter, stronger, and more united. What we've built isn't reckless, it's remarkable." For a moment, no one spoke. The screen filled with static as Zorath conferred with his fellow counselors. Rachel leaned toward Daniel, her voice low. "If they attack, we'll need to act quickly. Our shields can handle some hits, but not prolonged fire." Daniel nodded grimly. "Then let's hope it doesn't come to that." Suddenly, the alien fleet shifted. Ships began firing warning shots, bright beams of energy streaking past the human vessels. The message was clear: leave or face annihilation. But Alex had anticipated this. He signaled to Emily, who activated a device embedded in the HFY's core, a prototype EMP emitter designed to disable enemy systems without causing permanent damage. A pulse of energy radiated outward, invisible, but potent. Alien ships faltered, their engines sputtering as systems went offline. Panic rippled through the blockade as crews scrambled to regain control. The human fleet seized the opportunity, maneuvering through gaps in the disarrayed formation. Their sleek ships darted like shadows, avoiding retaliatory fire. Zorath's frustration boiled over. "You dare attack us?" he demanded, his voice rising to a shrill pitch. "It's not an attack," Daniel replied. "It's a demonstration. We don't want war, we want respect." As the human fleet broke through the blockade, whispers spread among the alien ranks. Some species admired humanity's ingenuity and courage. Others resented their defiance. Among them was Cale Varn, a disgraced former counselor who had long opposed the council's authoritarian rule. Watching the scene unfold, he saw an opportunity. Cale contacted the Eclipse directly, bypassing official channels. His haggard face appeared on the view screen, framed by dark hair streaked with gray. "I know why you're here," he said, addressing Daniel. "And I agree. You deserve better than what the council has given you." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Why should we trust you?" "Because I've seen the corruption within the council," Cale replied. "They rule through fear and manipulation. If you truly seek change, I can help." Rachel leaned closer, studying Cale's expression. "He's telling the truth," she whispered to Daniel. "His reputation matches his words." After a brief discussion, Daniel decided to take the risk. "What do you propose?" he asked Cale. Cale outlined a plan. He revealed that the Council's central command hub, a massive station orbiting Zenith Prime, was vulnerable. Its defenses relied heavily on automated systems, which could be overridden with the right codes. Kyle offered these codes in exchange for asylum and a promise to support reform once the Council fell. The decision weighed heavily on Daniel and Alex. Trusting a former counselor was risky, but the potential reward was immense. With Cale's help, they could dismantle the Council's grip on power and pave the way for a new era of cooperation. Preparations began immediately. Using Kale's intel, Rachel and Emily devised a strategy to infiltrate the command hub. The Eclipse would serve as the spearhead, drawing attention while smaller craft slipped past defenses. Once inside, teams would upload viruses to disable critical systems, rendering the station powerless. As the fleet approached Zenith Prime, anticipation gripped everyone aboard. The final confrontation loomed ahead. Alien ships regrouped, forming a defensive perimeter around the command hub. Their weapons glowed brighter, signaling readiness for battle. Alex addressed the crew. "This is it," he said. "Stick to the plan, stay sharp, and remember, we're fighting for something bigger than ourselves." The assault began. The Eclipse surged forward, its engines blazing trails of light across the darkness. Enemy fire lashed out, striking the quantum shields in bursts of energy. Despite the barrage, the ship held steady, its agility allowing it to weave through. Attacks. Small craft launched from the fleet slipping into the chaos. Pilots guided their vessels toward the command hub, dodging patrols and launching countermeasures to confuse sensors. Inside one of the crafts, Rachel worked furiously, inputting commands to breach the station's defenses. Sweat dripped down her forehead, but her focus never wavered. Meanwhile, Emily coordinated efforts aboard the Eclipse, rerouting power to keep shields intact. Her voice echoed through comms, calm and precise. "Hold steady, we're almost there." Back on the bridge, Daniel watched the battle unfold. Explosions lit up the void as alien ships clashed with human fighters. The odds were against them, but determination fueled every action. Humanity had come too far to turn back now. Finally, Rachel's team breached the command hub. They uploaded the virus, watching as systems flickered and died. Lights dimmed and alarms wailed throughout the station. Alien crews scrambled, unable to restore functionality. The central command hub, the heart of the Council's power, was crippled. With the hub disabled, the alien fleet lost coordination. Ships drifted aimlessly, their commanders unsure how to respond. The human fleet pressed its advantage, targeting key vessels with precision strikes. Not a single civilian craft was harmed. The goal wasn't destruction, but dismantling tyranny. Zorath watched in horror as his empire crumbled. For decades he had ruled through fear and intimidation. Now he faced a foe that refused to bow. As the last remnants of resistance faded, he slumped in his seat, defeated. Daniel stepped forward, addressing the galaxy via open channels. "This isn't the end," he declared. "It's a new beginning. The Council's reign of oppression is over. Together we can build a future based on equality and mutual respect." Cheers erupted aboard the Eclipse and its sister ships. Tears streamed down faces as years of struggle culminated in victory. Humanity had risen from exile, proving itself mightier than ever. But the journey wasn't finished. Rebuilding the galaxy would require patience, diplomacy, and hard work. Yet as the fleet returned to Earth, one thing was certain. Humanity's spirit burned brighter than any star. The fall of the Galactic Council's command hub marked a turning point in the galaxy. For decades, the Council had ruled with an iron grip, silencing dissent and hoarding resources for its favored species. Now, its central power was broken, leaving a vacuum that needed to be filled. Humanity stood at the forefront of this change, ready to shape a new future. Daniel Carter addressed representatives from across the galaxy aboard the Eclipse. The ship's main hall was packed with alien delegates, some allies, others former enemies, all drawn together by the collapse of the old order. Daniel spoke calmly but firmly, his voice carrying through the chamber. "The Council is gone," he said, "but we cannot let chaos take its place. We must build something better." Rachel Dawson stood beside him, her presence lending authority to his words. She had spent years studying alien cultures, and now she used that knowledge to bridge gaps between species. "We all have grievances," she added, "but we share one goal: survival. Working together gives us the best chance." Kale Varn, the disgraced counselor who had aided humanity, nodded in agreement. "The Council thrived on division," he said. Its fall offers us an opportunity to unite. The assembly erupted into murmurs as delegates discussed the proposal. Some were hesitant, wary of trusting humans after centuries of distrust. Others saw hope in this moment, a chance to break free from oppression. Among them were rebel factions from oppressed colonies, eager to join forces against tyranny. To demonstrate their commitment, Daniel proposed a charter, a set of principles guiding the new alliance. It emphasized equality, mutual respect, and shared prosperity. Every species would have a voice regardless of size or strength. Resources would be distributed fairly, ensuring no one faced scarcity while others hoarded wealth. Alex Brooks oversaw security during these negotiations. Though tensions ran high, he maintained order without resorting to force. His leadership earned respect even from former adversaries. Pilots under his command patrolled nearby sectors, preventing rogue factions from disrupting talks. Emily Taylor played a crucial role behind the scenes. Using data gathered during the assault on the command hub, she mapped out neutral zones where rebuilding efforts could begin. These areas served as safe havens for displaced populations and damaged ships. Her designs for modular habitats allowed quick construction, providing shelter and infrastructure for those in need. As discussions progressed, alliances formed. Colonies once loyal to the Council began defecting, seeking refuge under humanity's banner. Rebel groups supplied intelligence and manpower, helping dismantle remaining Council strongholds. Slowly, a coalition emerged, a patchwork of species, united by a common vision, yet challenges remained. Not everyone welcomed humanity's rise. Some alien leaders viewed Earth's actions as arrogant, arguing that humans had overstepped their bounds. Skirmishes broke out in distant regions, testing the fledgling alliance's resolve. Alex led missions to quell these conflicts using diplomacy whenever possible and force only when necessary. Back on Earth, people celebrated cautiously. News of the Council's downfall brought relief, but also questions about what came next. Would humanity truly lead, or would it repeat the mistakes of the past? Daniel traveled the globe, reassuring citizens that Earth's role was not domination, but partnership. "We are here to inspire, not control," he told crowds gathered in city squares. "Our strength lies in unity, not supremacy." Rachel continued her work, collaborating with alien scientists to develop technologies benefiting all. Together they created devices capable of purifying water, generating clean energy, and healing injuries faster than ever before. These innovations became symbols of cooperation, proving that diversity could drive progress. Emily focused on expanding Earth's fleet, designing ships tailored to specific missions. Exploration vessels ventured into uncharted territories, mapping star systems and cataloging resources. Diplomatic carriers ferried envoys between worlds, fostering relationships and resolving disputes. Military cruisers stood guard, protecting vulnerable populations from hostile forces. Over time, the Interstellar Alliance took shape. Its headquarters orbited a neutral planet chosen for its accessibility and lack of ties to the old Council. Representatives convened regularly to address issues ranging from trade disputes to environmental crises. Decisions were made collectively, with each species contributing based on its strengths. Humanity's influence grew, but not through conquest. Instead, it earned respect by demonstrating resilience, creativity, and fairness. Earth became a model for sustainable living, sharing its advancements freely with others. Cities adapted to changing climates, blending technology with nature. Education systems prioritized critical thinking and problem-solving, preparing future generations to tackle cosmic challenges. Daniel reflected on how far humanity had come. Once cast out, Earth now stood as a beacon of hope. He often visited Rachel's lab, marveling at projects born from collaboration. Together, they dreamed of possibilities, terraforming barren planets, unlocking mysteries of the universe, and perhaps even encountering other civilizations beyond the galaxy. One evening, Daniel joined Alex and Emily aboard the Eclipse. They gazed out at the stars, their faces illuminated by distant light. Do you think we've done enough? Daniel asked quietly. Alex chuckled. Enough? We've barely started. There's always more to do. Emily smiled, her eyes shining, with determination. Exactly. This isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about building something that lasts. Rachel joined them, holding a tablet displaying schematics for a new project. Speaking of which, she said, I've been working on something big. A network connecting every world in the Alliance. Instant communication, shared databases. It'll bring us closer than ever. Daniel nodded, pride swelling in his chest. That sounds perfect. Let's make it happen. Years passed, and the Interstellar Alliance flourished. Trade routes reopened, bringing prosperity to struggling economies. Medical breakthroughs eradicated diseases that had plagued millions. Art and culture thrived, blending traditions from countless species into vibrant expressions of unity. But humanity never forgot its roots. Museums showcased artifacts from Earth's darkest days, reminders of exile and struggle. Monuments honored those who had sacrificed everything for a brighter future. Schools taught children about resilience, emphasizing that even in adversity, greatness could emerge. In 2425, exactly 50 years after Earth's banishment, the Alliance held a grand ceremony marking the anniversary. Delegates from across the galaxy gathered on Zenith Prime, the site of the Council's downfall. Fireworks lit up the sky as speeches echoed through the crowd. Daniel stood at the podium, his hair streaked with gray but his spirit undiminished. Today we celebrate not just survival but triumph, he said. We rose from exile to become architects of a new era, an era defined not by fear, but by hope. Applause thundered through the assembly. Tears streamed down faces as people embraced, celebrating a legacy forged through courage and cooperation. Humanity had proven itself mightier than anyone imagined, not through conquest but through unity. As fireworks faded and delegates returned to their ships, Daniel lingered on the platform. He looked up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Earth's journey had been long and difficult, but it had led to something extraordinary. Outlawed by the Galactic Council, humanity had risen higher than ever before, and the story was far from over. The Interstellar Alliance thrived, but peace was not without its challenges. The galaxy was vast and old wounds ran deep. While many species embraced the new order, others resisted, clinging to the ways of the past. Humanity, once exiled and now a leader, found itself navigating uncharted territory, balancing progress with patience, unity with diversity. Daniel Carter stood on the observation deck of the Eclipse, staring out at the stars. The ship had become a symbol of humanity's resilience, its sleek design reflecting both strength and adaptability. Beside him, Rachel Dawson adjusted the settings on a holographic display, analyzing data streams from distant sectors. We've come so far, she said softly, but there's still so much work to do. Daniel nodded. Every step forward feels like 2 steps back sometimes. He gestured toward the screen, which showed reports of unrest in the Outer Rim, a cluster of planets where rogue factions refused to join the Alliance. These groups, remnants of the old Council's loyalists, saw humanity's rise as a threat. They attacked supply lines, sabotaged infrastructure, and spread propaganda to undermine trust in the new system. Alex Brooks entered the room, his expression grim. "We've got trouble," he said. "One of our exploration teams was ambushed near the Orion Belt. They're pinned down and reinforcements are hours away." Emily Taylor followed close behind, holding a tablet filled with schematics. "I've rerouted nearby ships to assist," she said, "but we need a better plan. These attacks are becoming too frequent." Daniel turned to face them. "This isn't just about defense. It's about understanding why they're fighting us. If we can address their fears, maybe we can bring them into the fold." Rachel agreed. Many of these factions feel abandoned. The Council exploited them for resources, then left them to fend for themselves when it fell. They see the Alliance as another form of control. "Then we show them we're different," Daniel replied firmly. "We offer help, not domination. But first, we need to protect our people. The rescue mission unfolded swiftly. A small fleet of Alliance ships, led by Alex, raced to the Orion Belt. Their sleek vessels moved silently through space, evading detection until they reached the stranded team. The attackers, a ragtag group of scavengers and mercenaries, were caught off guard. Precision strikes disabled their weapons without causing casualties, allowing the stranded crew to escape. Back aboard the Eclipse, Emily reviewed footage from the battle. "Their tactics are crude but effective," she said. "They use outdated tech, but they know how to hit where it hurts." "They're desperate," Rachel added. "Desperation makes people dangerous." Daniel leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "We can't keep playing defense. We need to take the fight to them, not with violence, but with solutions. Let's send envoys to these regions, offering aid and support. Show them that the Alliance is here to help, not harm." Alex frowned. "And if they refuse? Then we'll deal with that when it happens," Daniel replied. "But I believe most of them want peace. They just don't know how to ask for it." A few weeks later, an envoy departed for the Outer Rim, led by Cale Varn, who had earned respect as a mediator. The delegation included scientists, engineers, and diplomats from multiple species. Their mission was simple: listen, learn, and offer assistance. Among them was Rachel, whose expertise in alien cultures made her invaluable. The journey was long and perilous. Hostile patrols roamed the region, forcing the team to navigate carefully. When they finally arrived at their destination, a crumbling mining colony on a barren moon, they were met with suspicion. Armed guards blocked their path, their weapons trained on the newcomers. Cale stepped forward, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. "We're not here to fight," he said. "We're here to help." The colony's leader, a grizzled human named Marcus Hale, emerged from the shadows. His face was lined with scars, his eyes wary. "Help?" he spat. "You mean like the Council helped us? Exploiting our labor, taking everything we had and leaving us to rot?" Rachel stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "That's why we're here, to make things right. The Alliance is different. We share resources, knowledge, and opportunities. No one gets left behind." Marcus hesitated, glancing at his people. Hunger and exhaustion were etched into their faces. The colony's equipment was rusted, its supplies nearly depleted. For years they had survived on scraps, clinging to hope that someone would remember them. Now, salvation stood before them. But could they trust it? After hours of tense negotiation, Marcus agreed to let the team stay. Engineers began repairing machinery, while doctors treated the sick and injured. Slowly, trust began to grow. The colonists shared stories of their struggles, and the envoys listened, promising change. Meanwhile, back at Alliance headquarters, Daniel worked tirelessly to strengthen ties between member species. He organized summits, fostering dialogue and collaboration. Artists created murals depicting unity, blending styles from across the galaxy. Musicians composed symphonies celebrating diversity, performed in amphitheaters built from materials sourced from multiple worlds. Yet, not everyone was pleased. Some alien leaders resented humanity's influence, accusing Earth of seeking dominance under the guise of equality. Protests erupted in certain regions, fueled by misinformation spread by rogue factions. Tensions simmered, threatening to boil. Emily addressed these concerns during a meeting aboard the Eclipse. "We can't force anyone to join us," she said. "But we can lead by example, show them what we've built together, inspire them to be part of something greater." Alex nodded. "And if they attack, we defend ourselves, but we never strike first. That's our promise to each other and to the galaxy." As months turned into years, the Alliance continued to expand. Colonies once hostile opened their doors, drawn by the promise of prosperity and inclusion. Trade routes flourished, carrying goods and ideas between worlds. Schools taught children about cooperation, emphasizing that strength came from unity, not division. Humanity's role evolved. Earth became a hub of innovation, its cities shining examples of sustainable living. Factories produced technologies, benefiting all, from energy-efficient engines to medical devices capable of curing diseases. Yet Earth never claimed superiority. Instead, it shared freely, ensuring no one felt overshadowed. One evening, Daniel gathered his closest allies aboard the Eclipse. They sat around a table sharing stories and laughter. Outside, stars twinkled against the endless void. "Do you ever wonder what's next?" Emily asked, breaking the silence. "All the time," Daniel replied. "But I think that's the beauty of it. We don't have all the answers, and maybe we never will, but as long as we keep working together, we'll find our way." Rachel smiled, her gaze fixed on the stars. "There's so much out there we don't understand. So many mysteries waiting to be solved. And we'll solve them. Together," Alex added, raising a glass in a toast. As they drank, the Eclipse drifted through space, a testament to humanity's resilience and ingenuity. Outlawed by the Galactic Council, humanity had risen mightier than ever, proving that even in darkness, light could prevail. And though challenges lay ahead, they faced them united, ready to shape a future brighter than any star. The Outlawed had become the architects of a new dawn, a dawn that promised hope, unity, and boundless possibilities.